how's it going? And today I'm going to be prepping for drifting. My first drift event I've ever attended to, so I've got to be ready. I've got to get fuel, I got to get tires mounted, got to do a whole bunch of stuff, check my batteries in the car, lots of fun stuff. All right, so now I'm going to be going to a performance shop and I'm picking up 110 liters of E85. That's what I run in my car, so I need a bunch. I think I'm gonna be going through about 80 liters in 2 days, so we'll see how the car runs, but I definitely need enough fuel to get through the 2 days. If it does work out, we'll have to find out. I loaned out my Chevy to a buddy, so I'm using my Dakota, and it currently has a blown up diff, so turning right really sucks because it grinds and clanks, and hopefully I make it. I think I will. I just got back from a trip up north, and it was 7 hours of driving just like it is right now with a blown up diff, so hopefully I make it, but I think I will. Listen to the clunking. Hear that? Every right turn it does that real hard. Clunk, 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 clunk. Left turns it's mint. Right turns not so much. Got my E85 all strapped down. Make sure if things are sketchy, throw like 5 more straps on and it will be less sketchy. The more straps, the less sketchy, you know what I'm saying? And I just got a tornado warning on my phone, so this will be... Here she comes. So I made it back. The last time I drove this car was when I ran a 10, and before that I haven't looked over the car since 3 track days, so I need to look over every nut and bolt, mostly the hubs. The hubs like to have play in it once in a while, especially where the bag attached, because it's not supposed to make this much power. So I'm gonna look all over that while I have the wheels off, and I'm going to mount some burnout tires to it and then drive it a little bit and make sure everything's running clean. And also the last issue I had was after the 10, and it wouldn't make boost out of the line, and it was I think it was because the battery was dead. Every time I go to the track, my battery ends up draining because it's just a scrapyard battery and it's 3 years old. So I have the battery charging, and I'm gonna give it a buzz with that battery in there and see if the problem's gone. If the problem's still there, I'll replace the battery, but if not, I still know it's the battery because now it's being fully charged, and we'll go from there. And I'll bring extra batteries just in case. I'm not gonna buy an expensive one yet because I don't know if I'm gonna be moving that when I change the rear end setup. So I'll get right to it. See, this is what I'm talking about. It has a little bit of play, and it's because the bag actually loosens the collars because it's trying to twist the wheel back. So that over time, over multiple launches, will loosen it up a bit. It's not terrible, but I'll tighten that up while I'm here. Basically all I'm doing is just turning the collar tighter, and the collar tools don't allow me to get as tight as I'd like it to. So what I actually do is I just tap it with a hammer and a chisel. Just get it a little bit more tight. That should be good. All right, so I found 4 more factory Mx3 wheels. These are 15x7, and cheap tires go on them. So they're great for burnouts, great for drifting. Right now they've got 195, 65, 15s wrapped around them. If I can find more tread in my pile, I have quite the pile to look through because I do tires for a living. But anyways, I'm going to be using these ones because they're cheap. They are hub centric because they're Mazda Mx3 wheels, and it keeps the OEM look, you know what I mean? Like, these are the same ones I run for slicks, and they don't cost me nothing because they come on the cars that I buy to part out. Always keep the wheels. You never know when you're gonna need them, especially when you're drifting, because I'm gonna need at least 8 tires to get through the drift day because I'm gonna be burning and I'm gonna be sending it like you wouldn't believe. So let's pray the car works, because if that's so, I'm gonna be easily going through 8 tires. These wheels are mounted with my slicks, so I'm gonna be removing these. Look what I found. These tires literally have probably 80% tread left. So this would be a great tire to shred some tires with. And they're already mounted on 4x100s. That's the same bolt pattern as the Mx3, because this was on my green Mx3 and I saved them, and this is gonna be good because now I have some free tires I can use to burn to smoke. Perfect. They're all hub centric as well, so that's sweet. Sweet. I got 4 ready to go tires to just making smoke. So that is good. I got them aired up to about 45 PSI because I want to spin them. I don't want to hook. I just want to have some fun. Spin the tires, get into the corner, go sideways. I'm not a pro yet. Once I want more grip, I will take more air out, but I am completely new to the game. I can drift a car. There's no doubt about it, but I'm not a drifter. Like I can go into a corner sideways. That's about it. But yeah, I'm gonna be learning a lot. It's gonna be so much fun. So what I've got to do now is I've got to check over the entire car, oils, coolant, and I also have to put a air duct underneath my rear rad. This rear engine does get hot quite easily. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a duct to suck the air into the rad, because right now my rad's on an angle like this and the floor of my car is like this. So the air is going underneath the floor and my rad's here like this, and the fans are sucking the air, but it's not directly going into the rad. So what I need is a scoop to suck the air that's going under the car and up into the rad and then out the back bumper. I'm not going to be running a hatch, so that is definitely gonna help for cooling, and I'm probably not gonna be using a front hood as well. So that'll help as well. But I definitely don't wanna be overheating and just having a bummed out day because every corner of this one's getting hot. So what I'm gonna do is make a duct. My front rad fan actually fell off when I ran a 10, so I've got to get that back on somehow. I'm gonna try and do it with zip ties for the time being. Looking mint, it's actually like held on solid. So the next thing is my turbo is wide open, so this is my intake. So air gets literally sucked in and compressed through here. So it can suck in rocks, and I'm sure this track is very rocky. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to order a sieve, which is a strainer, and I'm going to zip tie it around there. So I'm gonna get Amazon to send me one of those bad boys, and I'm gonna zip tie it on, so if any rocks or whatever wanna go in, they can't. Okay, so this is an engine mount that I've had problems with for a while. This was brand new when I twin engined this car, and it's already shot. Like I can move the engine up and down, no problem, that's no good. So what I'm gonna do is gonna take it off and figure out how I can stiffen this up, because I don't wanna be wheel hopping and the engine hopping around. That is just extremely hard on things. Look how destroyed it is. That's what Big Power does to stock parts. So this is the only stock mount that's on this car. Tranny mount's good. Got good mounts for the tranny on the front and back as well. So yeah, like I've got to weld something in there and make this thing solid, or fill this with polyurethane. All right, I'm gonna deal with this engine mount later and get some polyurethane and put a bunch of polyurethane in between there and there where all the gaps are, and then install it back in there. But I just need to go and get that stuff. So I'm gonna continue on to the hydro brake. All right, here's my e-brake. So I'm going to adjust it so it comes out further and engages quicker, because right now I've got about an inch or two before it actually gets any pressure, and I want my hand to be fairly straight out so it's easy to grab off the steering wheel. It's too far back. So what I'm gonna do is just spin this, and as you can see, it's going further and further away. I'm gonna go until it's comfy. Because I normally have the e-brake close to me for when I'm drag racing, because I don't want it to get in the way for 5th gear as it is now, right? So now I don't need 5th gear, because I'm gonna just need 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. But honestly, I won't use 3rd, so 1st and 2nd, and that'll be plenty to party with. Sweet. So I have 4 brand new tires I'm gonna have for spare. I don't know if I'm gonna use or bring 4 more. I probably will bring them, but not mount them, and mount them at the track if I need, because right now I have 4 good ones here, 4 brand new ones here that are going on these. So I'm good to go. Jacqueline brought them for me and I'm gonna mount them up. All done, I got the tires mounted on, and now I'm just gonna weigh one of them just for fun and see what it actually weighs. All right, tires are done. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna check the oil and coolant in the back, and then I'm gonna fire both up, make sure everything's working good, and I'm gonna do a little sliding and see how it feels. All right, I'm warming her up, and one last thing, I need to remember where I was because I'm going to be turning the dampening all the way hard as possible because I don't want as much body roll as I normally do. So I'm gonna be taking as much body roll as I can away. So I'm gonna count how much it is to lose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 10. So that's 10. 10 loosen on the back, so I'm gonna crank it all the way. And same over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now crank it all the way in. And same on the front. What? Oh, I already had them all the way tightened. So I'm gonna leave them right there. And I should be good to test this baby out. I was driving it around and I had the same problem again that I had at the track, which is as soon as I floor it, the back engine literally like just chills, does nothing, no fuel injecting going on, no spark going on. So I'm hoping it's the battery. I'm gonna swap this out and give it another shot. I'm gonna check the voltage here. If it's less than 12, it's probably the battery. It's 12.4. All right, I'm gonna just throw this battery in from my truck and try it. I'm hoping this is gonna fix it. All right, I might have figured out my problem. I've had, obviously, it breaking up in the back, and there's quite a bit of rust here, because I did tow my car home in the rain before, so maybe this is just a corroded ground. I hope that's it. I'm gonna check them all, though. Alright, so I just took it out again, and after fixing that one ground, that was actually the problem. Then it started really taking off. So that was the problem that I had at the track, but I was too lazy to look for it when I was 11 o'clock at night. So, but I fixed it. But that's giving me a good reason to recheck every ground in the car. So I will continue and do that on tomorrow. But I need to take this battery out so I can get my truck moved, so I can get my E85 in here. Time to get the E85 in. Went to the store and I got some polyurethane. This is the polyurethane, 100%. I'm just gonna spray that into my engine mount and then let it sit. Trailer lights and 2 5-liter jugs of oil. I'm gonna do oil changes on the rear and front, and I always have oil filters in stock, so I'm good to go there. Got this one draining right now, and the reason why I changed the oil so much, I change it pretty much every time I beat on it, or every second time I beat on it, because E85 gets into the oil and will literally thin the oil out like a crazy amount, and that obviously changes the viscosity of the oil, and you don't want that to change at all. So you got to change it. If it smells like E85, change it. Simple as that. You can use the good oil if you want, but it's not going to last any longer because it's going to get contaminated with oil or with the 85. So got to figure that out always. And I always let it drain for about 10 minutes to get as much out as I can. Like not like an oil change at Jiffy Lube, as they open it and close it. Let it drain and make sure it hasn't ran within 24 hours. So the oil at the top is actually in the oil pan. Little things is maintenance that will make the car last longer. Oil's all done, so I'm just gonna start it up, check the oil, make sure everything's good. Way more. Perfect. All right, I'm gonna move to the front now. I'm gonna change the oil, and I'm going to pack this engine mount with the polyurethane stuff that I showed you I got at Canadian Tire. That is draining completely, like it's still dripping, so I'm still letting it drain. I'm gonna take off this engine mount and I'm gonna fill it up with the poly and then put it back on, and then in a day or two it should be hard enough to drive, so that'll be sick. Here's my engine mount, here's my poly, 100% polyurethane PL Premium. That's what I'm using. This is a quick fix, definitely quick fix, but I'm gonna be changing the whole setup for frames and everything in my car this winter. I'm gonna be tube chassis most of the car, so why put a whole bunch of work into something where I'm just gonna be deleting it anyways and making my own custom stuff? So that's what I'm gonna do. Gob it in. Fill it up as much as I can. And then put it back into the car. I'm gonna make it so I'm not actually gonna touch it on anything, if I can avoid it. So when I put it in, I don't get this crap everywhere, number one. And number two, so then it doesn't look terrible, but it's still gonna look terrible either way, but who cares? It'll make the car less hoppy, hippity for the engine, so. Look how easy that was. This was a $6 quick fix, and it's definitely gonna fix it. It just has to dry. So this is Wednesday, and I'm racing on Saturday, so it's got plenty of time to form up. So I'm gonna put it back in. So you can only see it like 50%, which isn't the worst in the world, I guess. Oil change is done. I'm gonna fire it up, make sure there's the proper amount of oil in there, and make sure there's no leaks. Another thing I am going to do is I'm going to raise the two-step in the front because I need more power from launching the car and getting the wheels to spin. Right now it's at 2,900. I will be raising that to 4,000, and I'm also gonna do the same to the back. So the front is at 2,900, so I know where to go back to because this is set up for drag. So I'm gonna set that. Actually, this is the rear engine connected right now. So I'm just going to, what the heck happened there? So yeah, like I was saying, rear is at 2,900 RPM, which is very low. So I'm gonna raise that to 4,000. 4,000 is reasonable, I think, to spin small tires. That shouldn't be a problem. That's 40,000. Oops, gotta delete that. And here is the front. The front was at 3,100, so I'm gonna remember that so I can bring it back to where it was when I go back to drag racing, and I'm gonna bring that up to 4,000 as well. All right, now I'm gonna throw the passenger seat and seat belt in. Seat is in, and now I've got to figure out something for the seat belt. So the seat belt has to go above the shoulder and then to the corner down here. This will clip in, no problem. But what I've got to do is I need to weld a bolt, like a actual nut, to my cage, and then I need to weld something to the bottom of my cage here for the retracting system. So I'm gonna have to do that. And I'm going to do the same thing right down there for a bolt hole for the retractor mechanism thingy-majiggy. I don't know much about seatbelts because safety isn't really my forte, but we're gonna send it. And just like that, it's all welded in there, and we got all the safety gear. It's gonna be sick. Tom's gonna love that. It's gonna be nice and safe in here. All right, so that is it. The seat belt, seats in. I tested the car out. The car's running mint. I have fuel. Oils are changed. What more could be needed? I have my helmet, I've got my racing suit, I'm ready to go. I need my buddy Tom to pick me up Saturday morning, and I'm ready to rock. So you will see the drift video next Thursday. So today is Saturday, next Thursday is when I'm gonna be dropping the video at 10 a.m. It's gonna be sick. I'm gonna do my best at drifting. I know I'm not a pro, but I can drift, I know I can. I'm gonna have so much fun, there's no pressure, it's just enjoy the car, drive the piss out of it, and have a great time with some friends. All right, we'll see you in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you on Thursday, 10 a.m.